Hey guys, this is Captain Frugal reporting for duty. A while back I supported the Indiegogo for Maiden Knuckle. I read it, I enjoyed it, but I never reviewed it. Part of the reason I didn't is because I felt like I'm just not the right guy to review it. I don't know enough about this style of comic book. But then I thought about it more and I realized, well, this is what the perfect comic book for that is. It's the perfect stepping stone into that style of Japanese type of comic book. That's what the writer and artist was going for. So why not review it? So today I'm going to review Maiden Knuckle. So I hope you sit back, enjoy the review, and if you've read this too, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments as well. Alright, let's check it out.
Well, first I'd like to say this is, once again, I apologize if I butcher it, because, I'm notorious for butchering things, and I mean no disrespect at all. I believe this is Keung Lee's first comic book, and I will say right off the bat, he understands the importance of a cover. The cover of a comic book needs to grab your attention, and I think this cover successfully does that. If you even look at the lettering at the bottom, how it was done in a really cool way, a really nice professional, clean look, easy to read, and attention grabbing. You automatically know what you're getting with this style of comic book. It shows you the style you're expected to get, and you get to see the type of art and everything that jumps off the page. The energy literally jumping off the page is an absolutely great way to gain attention to a comic book. So good job with that. Now, just to let you know, I don't have any digital scans of this, so I actually just used my camera and took pictures of the pages, so I do apologize if they're a little bit rough. I'm still learning how to master this new camera that I've gotten, and I think it's going to be a great benefit to the channel. Well, anyway, it starts off right at the beginning. It says, "This is my first comic, and I'm so thankful to all my supporters who made this book possible." And I cannot stress enough how important that is, good customer service, especially when you're a small company or starting something. You have to start by building an audience. This is something that the major comic book companies still need to work on. They always hide under the excuse of, well, these aren't exactly our employees, they're contract hires. I have news flash. Anybody who buys that does not know business. If you have contract hires, you can have a code of ethics and things that they have to abide by in order to get your business, to be hired and be part of that job. So that's a complete malarkey excuse. Well, anyway, it continues to go on and say, Maiden Knuckle is my attempt to bring a lot of what I love from I always mispronounce that, Magna, into domestic comics. And I think he has really struck a good point here of making that mixture. As a person here, personally, doesn't know a whole lot about that style, and have always wanted to dabble in a little bit. I think this is a great entry point for me as a good way to mix and not completely thrust me into something that I'm completely unaware of and don't know much about, and give me just enough as a touch to start to understand how that works. Anyways, it continues on. This book is primarily by fighting. It's primarily inspired by fighting games. And I'm not even going to say the text could do whatever film genre that consists of Super Sentai, superheroes, things like that. And I can definitely understand that. I've seen a little bit of Power Rangers with my son. And it continues to produce Maiden Knuckle. I'm sure a lot of my readers will notice these influences in my work. And I do. I notice those influences. I said I'm not completely oblivious to this style, but I'm not very good with this either. Another point it says is, thank you so much to my family and friends for their patience and support, to my backers on Indiegogo who founded the creation of this book. Once again, this is the first book, and I give special thanks to people. And this book was in 2019 is when it was published, and of course you can follow more. But if you look at it right off the bat, I think you can see the art style and everything is jumping out well. It's a good mixture of what I'm used to, the more American style, as well as mixing the other style as well. This book does a clever way of starting off with action to hook you right in right from the beginning. But yet, even though this is not the beginning of the story, it then goes back and shows you what the lead up is to this point, and then continues the story and finishes it. When you have a book that for the first time you need to grab the reader's attention, I think this is a great way to do it. You give them just enough action, a little bit to boost that curiosity and go, what the heck is going on here? And then you fill them in, and then you complete that story and continue it on with the want for more. This writer did a great job on doing that, especially for a first attempt. I am really, really impressed with what they've done. The young 24-year-old lady protagonist is going to go see her uncle on his birthday to deliver a gift. He's sort of a recluse, you get from this. Also, you get that her mother's unable to come because unfortunately work just doesn't allow it. But this is where the story leads in. You can see there's an issue with the uncle. He's got something going. He's a little overly into his work, if you will, and that leads to where the story unfolds, that he is working on what you could consider like a super soldier serum. And it appears that the company he's working for, well, let's just say they're not an easy company to work for. They have high demands, and he's not producing what they want fast enough. But maybe he is, and he's just holding back. As we discover, well, things don't exactly go as planned. As she is with him, he is confronted by the employers, and it was not a pleasant confrontation. And she uses her martial arts skills because she's been practicing, but she's always wanted to be a wrestler, by the way, but she's never really had the strength and size to be that. But she's still very well able to fight and hold her own with her martial arts skills. But unfortunately, she's just overwhelmed by the powers of, the people that unfortunately her uncle works for. But without that, we wouldn't get what's next. Anyway, her uncle, with her being wounded and shot, her uncle decides he's going to help her. He uses his special formula on her, which makes her much stronger, much more powerful, and more muscular. So combined with that and her martial arts skills, she is a true battle maiden knuckle bomb. And with that said, we still don't get everything that she's capable of. But how does she get out of this? How does she adapt to her new powers? Well, I think that's up to you to read. I don't want to spoil the story for you. But I will say, the artwork, this book is in black and white, and I think it fits it very well. I think it's in the manga style, if you will. And it's with that, with an American touch, a combination of both. And I think the art style really, really works for this book. I think you'd be missing out if you haven't looked into the Battle Maiden Knuckle Bomb series. Something definitely worth checking out. I don't get these to promote or anything of that nature. These are all by my choice. As I said before, I tell it like it is. This book has got some interesting character development, and it's got an interesting story, and I really enjoy the art style of this book, and I think you will too. So if you've checked this book out, please let me know down in the comments below. If you think it looks interesting to you also as well, let me know. I'd definitely be looking up for more of this series. Well, thank you for listening and watching, and until next time, keep it frugal.